Now before we go on to this next song, I would just like to share with you something God placed on my heart this week. You see, when I was little one year, my parents got me a hamster for Christmas, and I absolutely loved that little thing. We went out and got one of those little clear balls for it to roll around the house in. Had a cage in my room that had one of those hamster wheels, you know what I'm talking about, anyone? It would get on there and run around and everything. It was the best. That is until that one night. You see, after I'd gotten done playing with him, I put him back in his cage, but what I didn't realize was I didn't lock the cage door. And as I was sleeping, my little hamster crawled out and he was living his best life. He crawled out of that cage and somehow made his way into the kitchen where he was nibbling on some crumbs that were left on the floor. And while he was in there enjoying what would be his last meal, my dad had also gotten up and was making his way to the kitchen. And when my dad stepped into the kitchen, he felt a crunch. He was expecting to look down and see a broken toy of mine, a broken action figure. But when he looked down, there was Gizmo, crumpled up like a piece of paper under his big toe. Of course, I was devastated once I woke up that morning to find out that my little hamster, my best friend, had went on to be with the Lord that night. I went and made a casket out of my mom's old shoe boxes, and we went into my mom's flower bed and we dug a little grave for it. But you see, what is beautiful about this story is just a few months later, where we had laid my hamster to rest, her rose bush began to bloom. Some of the most beautiful roses. Where something was once dead has now brought forth life. What was once a grave has now turned into a garden.